What up, y'all? Uh, First off, let me start by saying Nome9 was again. It was excellent. Besides that, that one debacle. Um, it was excellent. I think that again we got our money's worth. I think as fans for the bulk of these battles, I feel like we won. Of course, we all think there's a winner and a loser, but I really think that we won. I think Nome9 went great. Um, The only problem I will always have in terms of battle rap, especially in these events, is it runs too damn late. There's just way too much time in between battles. It's crazy, and I feel for the people who are in the building who've been standing outside for hours. And when you get in there, like you don't understand. If you've never been to an event, and I'm not dissing anybody who's never been to an event, like it really wears on you standing that whole time, especially standing in a crowd, a bunch of people all around you, bumping, pushing, trying to make their way. They feel like they should get a better spot than you. It gets brutal in there, man. You're trying to make your way through the crowd to get to the bar, make the way through the crowd to get to use the bathroom. Um, Battle rappers it gets brutal. It gets brutal. So beyond how long it takes, like now, look at the time. Look at the time. What time is it over here? I don't know. I can't even get into my phone right now because the camera's running. Anyway, this battle, do I think it lived up to the hype? I think it got as close to the hype as it could have been. The other part is there technically wasn't no hype because the name sold itself, but of course in this battle it was talked about the promo issues. But in general, in the first round, Lux goes first. In his first round, he somewhat attacked. Um, of course, putting him being the big reason why the battle rap world, so on and so forth, know who the Midwest guys were. Lux was the instrumental piece into bringing them to for us to be aware of. Their talent took off. There's no denying that. Hey, I'm just telling you how the round went. Not about to debate y'all on any of that shit right now. Um, so anyway, in general, I thought that Lux, of course, he was smart starting off with his opening slogan that he normally uses, right? First smack back, we got somebody to back. Y'all know what it is. Um, I loved his intensity. I loved Lux's intensity in that first round. Of course, the bars was there, but it was something about that intensity. There were moments where I wish he slowed it down more for those people there, not for me. Because I just felt like he started going at a rapid pace, and while I was catching a lot of the bars, I still think there might have been one or two I didn't catch. It's all over one watch. So imagine the people there. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. Again, somebody's talking through it, all that shit. So he got to a point where he went to rapid pace. People liked it. Some people did. Some did. There it goes. Anyway, I thought he had a very good first round, but I won't lie. I kind of felt like there should have been a little bit more in that first round. Um, but then there was a time issue, and then towards the end of it, that's what happened. They called time on him. Um, they start going back and forth about the time. Verb says, "Go ahead and rap." Lux says, "Yo, I had just a few or one more line or something like that." And long story short, it was like when he did go back to spitting it, it wasn't the same. And then Verb's like, "Oh, I'm telling you to rap, but it's the truth. Like, yo, if they're already doing that, you get thrown off. You know what I'm saying? Everything else that you say from then on is not gonna be the same. That's not rocket science. But it doesn't change that. Then Verb goes, and Verb is on full attack mode. I love where he went with his pen. If you watch my prediction blog, I've been saying also in my last few recaps of this battle, I just like the bag he's in, where his writing is a little more intricate. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And out the gate, he just was going for Lux's neck. Again, all this is first watch, but I have Verb edging that first round. I thought Edge. I thought some of the things he wrote and the direction he went into, I appreciated it a little bit more. And for me personally, it just hit a little bit more for me. So I have him edging. I literally have him by 1 point. And I also think the pace that Verb, because remember, like the pace that Lux came in was just in your face, rapid fire, rapid fire. Verb did something similar, but I think he found the moments where he wasn't over, he wasn't in overdrive. He wasn't going so fast that you really couldn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the pace that he somewhat rapped in versus uh damn, who was that last person he Mook, excuse me. I'm sorry. If you look at that pace that he rapped to Mook, he was almost in that same pace with Lux. I think that here and there he just went just a little more faster. And maybe it wasn't so much faster, maybe it was just more intense. And now that I think about it, I think probably was a little more intense than it was faster. And it just gave that I think it helped out. Especially someone like me that I'm appreciating that because I feel like these guys should in a battle like this take lyricism to another level, and that they did. Second round, so I edged the first round to Verb. Second round goes, and I have to be honest. After the ending of Lux's second round, not after the ending of his second round, but after the ending of the second round period, some of the things that the crowd was saying and all that, I don't know what the hell y'all were watching. I honestly don't know. Again, I judge the battle off what I think, not what the crowd thinks. But sometimes you hear things and you just like, man, what the hell are y'all talking about? I think the second round was more the same from both of them. I felt like Lux definitely had more stuff on full attack mode on Verb. Um, I felt like what Verb came back with was definitely good. It was pretty much the same pace as the first round. I just think that Lux, especially when he got to like that like the halfway point of the second round, he just absolutely took off. I think he was finally in his bag. He was performing. He had hard hitting lines. He had witty lines. Um, the intricacy for both of them was there in their pen, definitely. But I just felt like in that second round, Lux was hitting way harder. And when Verb goes, again, it's more of the same from the first round. And I mean that in a positive way. But I just felt like his lines, to me, wasn't hitting as hard as Lux's. As Lux a few times seemed like he was shaking the room in that second round. Verb, again, like I said, Verb goes and has a phenomenal second round. And at this point, I'm like, yo, my man, like, we are on our way to having just it was not that we were on our way. We already were getting a Clash of the Titans. Like the lyricism, the thought process, and everything that went into these guys' rounds. Like I said, Verb in that first round, some of the levels he went to in that first round were just phenomenal. And now in the second round, he's doing more of the same, but Lux just takes it up a whole other notch. Again, this is my opinion off one watch, and I'm like, wow, like I'm happy. I was supposed to be at work for most of these days. I was for most of the day. I did work most of the day, but then I was able to work it out where I get out and just do a double tomorrow. And I'm happy because as the night went on, I'm just seeing all these displays of lyricism and performance, and then just to see this cap it off, and for them to just take it one more step up, it's just phenomenal. So now we take ourselves into the third round. So I got Verb in the first round with an edge. I thought Lux clearly won that second round, but that is in no way a negative. It was great. Third round goes, and I felt like Lux was on an absolute, like a runaway train. I just felt like he was just going, man. Like, and I'm just stuck at the end of that third round for Lux. because he starts going into this angle about pretty much how we like the old Verb, so on and so forth. But he goes from there. He jumps into an angle about Verb's upbringing. Now, if you haven't heard Verb ever speak before, he says, and this is all alleged, I don't know, that pretty much like his I believe it was his babysitter, was it? I think it was his babysitter gave him some head. You know what I mean? At a very young age, and so this is where I was thrown off, because Lux like starts to go in on that and starts to talk about, like, it seemed like he was gonna go into an angle of well, he starts going into the angle of how that kind of stuff shaped the way Verb is, and his greediness and so on and so forth. Mind you, which I want to get back to this, but throughout the last 2 rounds, Lux was mentioning the whole situation with ARP, and how he played himself with that situation, and went into the whole Hitman and Young Ill thing, like, yo, my man, especially Ill, like, you followed him to do that, but Hitman went and did a whole different thing, which is the truth. That's what happened. Like, y'all two, so Ill, you pretty much followed him when he had his issue, but Hitman didn't. So, he played into this whole thing, and then when he started talking about the whole, which I thought was cool, well, again, I'll get back to that, but when he started going into this whole thing about how the effect of being molested, affects, like, who you are, and when I think he's about to dive deep into that, which I think would have been the most intelligent thing for him to do, because people normally take the angle about his mother. Now you're about to take a whole other angle that I've never heard anybody take, and I'm talking about for me personally. And you go into this whole how he was molested and how that changes how he treats women, and like right when I'm thinking, yo, man, Lux might come and really hit a whole different angle and hit a home run here, he somewhat changes it and goes into the whole argument about the promo and how Verb. And here's the thing: there was nothing wrong with that angle, but it would have hit way harder had he continued where he was going. So when he got into the whole thing about the promo, it did fall flat towards the end, because I guess he had his brother there, and they start talking about how when the argument of the promo and the argument really about the time limit of the rounds, Lux is just like, yo, from the time we agreed to this battle and all of that, me and you been in touch directly. You got my number, I got your number. We was in touch directly. We never did this run into Beasley or any of them, or run into radio shows about it. So when all of a sudden you had an issue with the time frame and you trying to change the time frame, you told URL that, and you got on PSA, Salute to Dre, 3 Letterman. You got on all of that, and you kept going. You did 3 shows with them, and every time we calling you, you sending us the voicemail. Now, Lux's brother of Homeboy, I think he said that was his brother, was backing up the story and all of that. Could they have did that a little bit better? Yes. The crowd starts booing it, and I'm sitting there like, yo, first off, throughout the night, we've definitely heard things, because it happens in battles. We've heard things that could have been booed. And not that I want them to do that, because I don't think besides what Jack Boy did, nothing else should have been booed to that. It's like, anything else you could have been like, that wasn't so. But to boo that, and you only booing because his brother. Any other time somebody does that, y'all go crazy for something like that. Now, again, it could have been choreographed better, but I didn't think that they wanted it to be the focal point. It wasn't like he was performing or doing like a show out and Hitman kind of thing. Don't worry, it moved back on it because of the wheels. So anyway, again, I thought his round was still very good. They just could have kind of did something a little bit different with that, and I think he should have never left that angle, but it doesn't change how dope that 3rd round was. Verb goes, and again, his 3rd round is very similar to the first 2 rounds, where he's just on full-blown attack mode, like a pit bull off the chain. I felt like his round probably was a little more shorter, and I don't think I really was digging when he was writing Verb, but I really don't think that it was hitting hard as a lot of stuff that Lux was saying. And I found it odd though that the crowd starts chanting 3-0 in favor of Verb. And what's crazy is I predicted that Verb would win this 2-1. And I found myself with Lux edging that third. I think it would have been more definitive had he continued with that angle. The angle about the whole thing with the babysitter and all that shit and how it fucked with his psyche and all of that. I just think that angle, if he would have continued it and broke it down the way we was anticipating, he set it up in that way, like if he was gonna really dive in, he didn't. And I think that's what made it so that this third round isn't so clear. But for people to be screaming 3-0, everybody got their own opinion. I don't know where the hell y'all saw 3-0 at. I have Lux by a razor's edge. I got Lux by 1 point. I got Verb winning that first round by 1 point. I think Lux clearly won that second round. And then by 1 point, I got Lux taking that third round. Again, by 1 point. This is my opinion. This is off one watch. Please relax. Check it out yourself. Everybody has to have their own opinion. I plan on watching this battle 2 or 3 more times before I definitively say who I thought won. But as of right now, if one live watch, I have Lux taking this by an edge. So thank you for rocking with me. If you think differently, feel free to comment. But explain to me why you feel differently. Don't just get in there acting ignorant in the damn comment section. When, of course, we all gonna have our own opinions, but how are we supposed to have a dialogue? Excuse me, and how am I supposed to understand your who you thought won if you don't explain it? If you just jump in the comments and because trust me, with a battle of this magnitude and these two guys, the big names that they are, you think everyone's gonna agree on who they thought won? I just don't see it. Especially if it was such a back and forth between the Mook and Verb battle. Before people definitively said Verb won, which I did too. I just don't see how you watch this one battle and say 100% sure this is who. I just don't see it. I don't see how. Not the way these guys were going. So again, this is another battle where I feel like the supporters won, the fans won. Thank you, URL. And no, the part before I forget, the part that I was intrigued by and I found funny was Smack's face and everybody else's face when Lux twice brought up ARP, but he brought it up 2 different ways. One time he was talking about he used ARP's initials to go at Verb, like to say Verb rips people off or some crazy shit like that. And then the second time was when he brought it up breaking down Verb being filed for doing bad business and taking that money and for the whole way. I don't want to tell you everything that he said. I want you to go purchase the pay-per-view, or if you watched it, then you understand what I'm saying. I thought it was cool, and the reason why is because on every single platform, people get up there and speak about URL on every single platform. But they don't talk about no other league when they get on URL. It's almost like it's a known thing around. I've heard, I don't even want to put that out there because I don't want to start this whole dumb shit, but let's just say it's frowned upon to mention other leagues there, and for Lux to do it the way he did it, and on the grandest scheme, the grandest stage, I could see how people weren't too happy. I seen when after he did it the second time, Smack leaned over and said something to Nunu about it. You know what I mean? He didn't seem too happy about that. But it is what it is. If people could get on any other league and mention you guys all the time on other leagues, I don't see the problem with this one. It wasn't like he was comparing y'all or something like that. I just thought it was dope that Lux did that just in general, because I've never seen anybody do that. And maybe not to this degree. Alright, so anyway, get in the comment section some of you who you think won and why. Thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate it. And again, if you don't know, I'm gonna remind you, click the link in the description to go get your battle rap merchandise. Alright? A lot of dope t-shirts up there. Thank you all for rocking with me. Subscribe, please. Hit the alert bell. Salute.